we just made this program to calculate the batting average. Now, if you look here where we did our inputs, right, it's not very tidy, right? Hits is right next to 12, 50 is right next to at-bats, and these numbers, who knows what they actually are, right? We've got a 50 and a .24 right next to each other. It doesn't make sense. So what we're going to do, we're going to tidy up our code a bit, okay? We're going to tidy it up here where we see it and here where the user sees it. So what we do, okay, when we're programming, we comment our code. And that looks like this, okay? Whenever you see a hashtag or a number sign or a pound sign, whatever you call it, you know, hey, this is something that the computer just ignores, and it's for the people looking at the code. Okay, so when it goes to run this, it's totally going to ignore anything after a hashtag. Okay, some different languages have different ones. Like this is one in C and C++ and all the others, and you know. So anyway, the two most common ones are the hashtag and the double dash. Anyway, so what I'm going to do above the code, I'm going to put my name, right, and the date. It's going to go right next to that. It's 11-12-15, right? So then, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come right here, and I'm going to say what I'm doing for the next bit of code. Okay, so that's going to be collect the inputs, right? So now, if anyone were to look at this code, they kind of understand what I'm doing in that area. Now I'm going to say calculate. So right, so that's going to be this, and okay, so now we kind of know, looking at it, okay, well I collect the inputs, I calculate the batting average, and then I display the results, okay? Now, I'm going to teach you a secret, okay? It's not a secret actually, it's the next bit of code. Let's say you know when you're like Word and you want to make things line up front and down, you tab it, right? Well, you can't just put in a tab. That does weird stuff. See this? I hit tab and it pulls up all these things. So what we're going to do, we're going to put a backslash. Bear in mind it's a backslash. It's the thing right below your either backspace or delete button, depending on what computer you're using. Backslash T. Okay, and that's tab. And we're going to put one in both places, and hopefully, if these things over here are close enough, we won't need more than one tab on any single one. Now, what we're going to do here, we're just going to tell people what we're printing out. Okay, this is the number of hits was. Okay, and so I have the space here. That space is kind of so that the hits isn't right next to the thing. Now see, I used a plus, okay? You either can use a plus or like a comma or something. Either will work. It formats it a little bit differently. I don't quite know the difference, and it's not really important. So now the number of at-bats was space again plus, there we go. Now the was so now it's just going to look when we run this, it's going to ask me to save it again. Okay, so we're going to be down here, number of hits, that was 12, right? Oh, there's a problem. Oh, right, so this here is a number, okay, and it's trying to concatenate. See, I got this error here. It says that hits is an integer, okay, and this is a string, okay, so you can't put integers and strings together. So what you do, you know how we did the float before? This is just like that. This turns this hits into a string. Right, so those are just ways of turning one data type into a different, right? Because the computer remembers them differently. So there we go. Now that should work a little better. So 12, 50. Look at that. So see, it's all nice and lined up, and if we wanted to make it a little bit nicer, we could do \t there, you know, to put it out with the others. So yeah, that is how you kind of tidy up your code.